Like so many festivals and occasions across India, this too has been celebrated with much gusto from the start of the day. So here on Cricbuzz Live, we should start by wishing Sachin Tendulkar a very happy birthday, but with a little bit of a rider. I'm sure if you were to walk up to him and ask, what one birthday gift would you like? The obvious answer would be, let Mumbai Indians win tonight. He's seen it happen 12 months ago, that his birthday was soured by the loss of Mumbai Indians. But let me not talk about it. Let me ask two gentlemen who know him very well, Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. Harsha, fair assessment of the man who's a Mumbai Indian at heart?
What will happen is, if Mumbai Indians do win, there will be a phenomenal celebration, except the rate at which they're bowling overs, it may no longer be his birthday by the time the celebration starts. But there will be a huge celebration, and I genuinely believe Mumbai Indians start favourites today, even though they are at the wrong end of the table over Sunrisers. Sunrisers, the fact that Shikhar is back is a big thing for them. Stanley going out is I'm not sure is as big a factor because they allow them to play Alex Hales, but I still think that Mumbai Indians just have firepower. At some point it's got to turn.
Yeah, Joy, Stanley not only out, but we've heard out of the IPL. So
yeah, I think this is the business side of the tournament where you start seeing this starting to happen. I remember a long time back, we were talking to Trevor Bayliss and saying, what do you need to win an IPL? So he talked about a lot of factors, captaincy, strong teams, coherent teams. The factor he said was luck. You need to be relatively injury-free.
But you can't plan for it, can you?
You can't. That's exactly.
Can you go into the auction and say, right, luck for 1.3 crores?
No, but at least you can turn around and say, if this guy goes down, I have at least a 70% replacement for him. And yes. I think...
Is that luck or is that planning? I mean, you've been part of auctions. Is that luck or is that planning?
That is planning. But the point of it is, if you had that top player available, then it makes a hell of a difference. And if you look at it, they've got Warner out for whatever reason.
And okay, Bhuvanesh so the two people they retained.
Shikhar, who went out. Shikhar has gone out for a couple of matches. Stanley gone for the tournament. Already that Sunrisers team that looked so deep in the auction when we were talking.
Yusuf Pathan not feeling 100%.
Yeah. Yusuf Pathan never feels 100%. That's a different matter altogether. But he's a wonderful man and he'll turn up anyway.
All right, let's keep the auction aside for now, and let's remind you of what happened on 24th April, the last few times that Mumbai Indians did actually have a game. A couple of years ago, it was a double-header with Mumbai not playing. Last year, it was a heartbreaking loss by just 3 runs to the ultimate finalists, the rising Pune Super Giants.
So nothing has changed then? They're still losing by small margins. They're still losing by wicket.
That one is kind of the story of the Mumbai Indians this season, but the first 2 really were the kind of results that they'd want to look at, both convincing victories. But I think it'll take just one victory for Mumbai Indians, and
we thought
they seem to enjoy these.
True,
losses in 5s, wins in 6s.
They got a win, and then they lost again.
Yeah.
So they've got to ensure that going into the last over, it's not a 50-50 game. It's very interesting, the numbers that we were looking at, that their economy rate in the death is among the best. They're taking wickets from, okay, decent in the middle over. So why are they losing so much in the end? And I just wonder, is there anxiety? Is there stress to think, oops, what if we lose? I don't know, because I mean, there are a couple of balls here and there from being top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, just reminds me, I think it was a Stiche Edberg tennis match in Wimbledon, and Stiche had won 7-6, 7-6, 7-6.
But Edberg had won more points?
Completely, had dominated in points. And you think of Mumbai, they're just like that today. They're like, they've done everything except win games. The one that they've won with a reasonable margin. They could have added that margin to other places and won 4 games.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because Colin Munro said yesterday that Delhi Daredevils are playing very well for 36 overs. But you need to play well for 40 overs to win. So I wonder if that's the issue with Mumbai Indians. I'm also interested in seeing how we said right at the start that Sunrisers have picked very well in the auction. If they've picked well in the auction, this is the time to show that strength now. Saying, look, we've missed a couple of key players, but you know what, we bought well. So Basil Thampi playing today. So let's see how Basil Thampi does. They had Sandeep Sharma as a like-for-like replacement for Bhuvanesh. He did really well. So that is going to be tested. I think their batting is always going to be the weaker arm, but I think their bowling will still come through.
Yes, we haven't really got the 11s yet, but somehow we talked about this yesterday. Players in different franchises may not always look the same depending on the role. Sandeep Sharma was the Sher in the Kings 11 Punjab. He used to play every game. He was the leader of the attack. Now he's played just one game here, and he played well, but out again.
But again, you look at it, the other thing is Mustafizur. If you look at him for Mumbai, the year that, his definitive year was 2016, his economy rate was 6.9. Right now, he's going at about 7.978. Okay, and it doesn't help because he is their designated death bowler who suddenly, because you know, you're right, Bumrah is not really a death bowler, and suddenly if he's not bowling well at the
I'll tell you the problem, Joy, because you and I speak the language.
Yeah.
In Sunrisers Hyderabad, they had a designated interpreter for Mustafizur Rahman. It was Ricky Bhui. I don't think Mumbai Indians have figured that one out yet.
I actually asked them that when at a casual meeting once, and they said we are looking after that. They say he understands English and Hindi, but he only speaks Bengali, so we are looking after that aspect. But I think the deeper aspect is, I don't know if Wankhede is a take the pace off kind of wicket, so the Unad cuts and the Mustafizurs might struggle over here. I think that Hyderabad track was made for Mustafizur. Plus, people thought he's 135, and so they played him as a 135 bowler. Now they're playing him as a 125 bowler with the change-up ball being the one that's coming quicker. So maybe they've also figured him out, and so it's now his time to add something. But I think he's bowling on a track where it's very difficult to defend.
And here I thought I could put in my CV in for the Mumbai Indians. What's your role? Interpreter for Mustafizur Rahman.
Bangla.
Shall we start? Shall we start?
Army Bangla, Army Hyderabad.
Except that a lot of Mustafizur's Bengal, the dialect is also fairly different. I mean,
so you speak that dialect?
I can understand the dialect.
Is it still a little bit better than those from Chittagong? Those are even worse.
Chittagong, I remember.
So suppose Mustafizur has to say in his accent that this track is not suited for me, Ami, more Hyderabad. How would he say it in the...
I'm wondering. You've got me.
Balokhel Sena.
He's not bad. That's a fair assumption.
Yeah. A little bit, let's stick to English. Let's stick to Cricbuzz Live. Let's stick to Mumbai Indians against
man. No, I'm not going. You know, Gujarati origin man living in Gurgaon and talking Bangladesh Bengali.
Smooth are you?
See? Anyway.
Let's get back to it. We can talk numbers because numbers are a universal language, no matter what you speak. And of course, before we get to the numbers, I think the important thing is the names. So let's look at the lineup finally.
Yes.
The unchanged Mumbai Indians lineup, and I think this is something that will please them. We talked a lot about yesterday whether Kieron Pollard perhaps should sit out, whether you look for Ben Cutting to come in, but at the moment I think it's looking settled. But any changes in the batting order?
That top three is doing well for them, but is Rohit Sharma, your premier white ball player, a run-out 0 of 1 ball player who's running, who's coming in and desperately trying to do something?
Ridiculous.
No, Rohit Sharma gets 10 balls, he wins you matches. Which is the one game that they won? Rohit Sharma came in at 0 for 2, but Rohit Sharma played all the way through and got a 90. That's the game they won. My feeling is, I know Surya Kumar Yadav is doing really well at the top. I know that Ishan Kishan is doing very well at the top, but they would play the same way if they batted at 4. You send Rohit Sharma out at...
TLRO, please let Rohit open.
Yes.
I've been a member of the organization from day one. I've been waiting for him to do it.
The wrong word?
Gache is good.
What is it?
Gache, gone.
Gache, gone.
Gone.
Right. Wow, what a trilingual show, quadrilingual show we are having here on Cricbuzz Live. But changes on the opposition. No changes for the Mumbai Indians. Perhaps the batting order could Rohit open. We'll find out soon. But the Sunrisers Hyderabad have had several changes. And this time, hopefully, we'll bring you the right amount of changes between the toss and the lineup. By the way, Harsha, you weren't here yesterday. We had 2 changes to start with, then 5 changes. It was a lot of fun.
We talked about the depth in the fast bowling. There it is. Sandeep Sharma, Basil Thampi, Siddharth Kaul. What is their lead fast bowling? Billy Stanlake and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Neither is there. I really do like Mohammad Nabi in the side, and I think they've brought him up because they're struggling with their batting. They want someone to finish at the end. So they've got 3 quicks, 3 spinners on that track. Are they batting deep enough? Yeah. See, I think the problem that Williamson is posing at the top, though he's overcome that problem being a class player that he is the problem that Saha is posing in the middle. That we want Saha, is an excellent keeper, but where do we bat him?
Yeah, you can't bat Saha that low and expect him to score runs consistently for you. He's not a finisher. Look, the point is Saha's playing, he will always play out of his skin. He'll play 115%, but his basic batting talent is not there. So you have these 2 very, very differing characters. You have Manish, who's a brilliant player but is seriously underachiever compared to the kind of talent he has, and you have Riddhiman who overperforms, and neither of them is the solution. And I really feel today this was a kind of track that they could have tried Brathwaite, because he's got the speed, he's got it, and
so
he can
Brathwaite for Nabi.
I would have gone Brathwaite for either Nabi or even Shakib. Because Shakib has a lot of, again, I'm a huge fan of him, but he's got a lot of 20s and 30s which haven't become 50s and 60s and 70s. If you look at Shakib, There aren't that many 50s at all. I think in his IPL career, I'm struggling to remember a 50.
You know, if Warner had been around and got injured, so there was no mandate to play Williamson, they would have been playing Alex Hales by now. Yeah. But now there's nothing you can do with Williamson. And of course, the fact that Williamson has now stood up and played well.
And he spent some time sitting on that bench.
He has. So, but who's the guy who can turn this batting around? Luckily for them, Shikhar is here today. But this is such a track for Alex Hales, this Mumbai Stadium. You know, ball coming on. And did he play well here in the World T20 when Roy and Hales were opening the batting?
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact numbers. लेकिन हमारे हैदराबादी लोग अभी देख लेंगे तुम लोग बंगाली में बात कर लिए तो हम क्या छोड़ते हैं?
All right, let's
हम नहीं छोड़ते हैं. हमारा मेरे को लग रहा बम्बई जीतते बोल के, लेकिन हैदराबादी लोग छोड़ नहीं सकते.
He's a very conflicted man today. He's going to be the political statement. Cricket is a winner kind of statements because he can't take sides today.
Well, fair enough.
On my school WhatsApp group, they're sending the Hyderabadi Hindi I speak on this program as a WhatsApp forward back to me.
Excellent. And we are surely going to clip this up and send it for anyway, posterity. But coming back to the cricket, Mumbai in comfort zone chasing, Hyderabad in not very much comfort zone setting a total at least this season. Mumbai have a good record chasing and that ground.
Yes. Also, it'll be interesting to see what Sunrisers think is a good score, because the word around the circuit is Sunrisers outstanding team for a 150 game. Sunrisers cannot play a 180 game, which is what Ashwin said at the toss. He said, I'd like to see how the Sunrisers chase a big total, backed themselves, they made 190 and they won. 190, 200 and they won. The next time CSK made 180, they won. So it'll be interesting to see what they think is a good score, because they will have to make a 180 here. Are they side that's geared to 180? Shikhar Dhawan has to get them off to the kind of starts that Warner was. Yeah. Before the injury, he was in very good form anyway.
I think also that, I think this 6 bowlers said 3 spinners out here. This is not the track where spinners do brilliantly normally. But again, somebody like Rashid is such a brilliant bowler that he could just prove them wrong. And Markandeya is having a great season out here. Yes. Though having said that, he's eased off a bit. If you see, he had Markandeya. Yeah. First 2 matches, 7 wickets. After that, has he got a wicket? I think he's got one more after that. So the next 3 matches, he's definitely, even his economy rate was below 6, and now it's suddenly at about 7.5.
It's a great thing about the IPL, Joy. It's a great observation. It's a great thing about the IPL is you come in, nobody knows what you can do, and you create an impact, but there are such good thinkers in every franchise. By the time you come to game 4 and 5, everyone's figured a way to play you. It's happened with Mustafizur, it's happening with Rashid, and it could happen with Mayank Markandeya.
Am I allowed to use the F word here? Fantasy?
Why, you put him in your team again?
Markandeya bowling captain.
In your team?
Just as Joy says.
You still are obsessed with sports fantasy leagues.
Yesterday the show started late because I had to change my team.
Yeah, and Dooley called him out on it on air. On air, called him out. This is why you were late.
Yeah, I had Gale captain. And then I had to change it.
But what kind of fantasy league player? Gale plays 3 games. He can't turn up in the 4th game.
Fair enough. I was giving him 4 out of 5.
No, he's the kind of form he's
But Mumbai Indians, in terms of their numbers chasing, it's one thing to talk about the record, but if the stats support you, then you know that you're on the right side of it. Since 2016, batted first, as you can see. It's on the wrong side of it, and significantly better batting second. And I can tell you, those 11, many of them will be at the Wankhede.
Yeah, yes, and I think they've got a side that's so full of stroke players. It's interesting that they've been in 4 close games without a significant contribution from Hardik Pandya, without a significant contribution from Kieron Pollard. When they made their team, and we all analysed teams, and we said, I thought 5, 6, 7 was where they differentiated themselves from everybody else.
Kunal, Hardik,
and Pollard. And who's playing well for them? Lewis, Surya Kumar Yadav, and Ishan Kishan. So it's always interesting that team balance, but in a run chase they get them off to a start. Then I'd like to see how Sunrisers come back.
Certainly, and since we spoke about what do they think is a good total, it's one thing for them to come out there and start planning that, and you've got a big set of planners in there led by Tom Moody. It's another thing to go out and execute. Shikhar Dhawan will have to play a Warner kind of role, which Harsha said. Williamson, we saw him at the end of the innings playing a very un-Williamson-like role. But today, do you reckon he'll have to play a foil to Shikhar, or will both have to go?
I think Shikhar naturally scores so fast. I mean, he doesn't have the problem that Delhi has today with Gautam, that you have to carry the other side. Williams will go at 130, 140. Shikhar will could go at 180, could go at 200. Their bigger problem will be that, you know, they haven't got runs out of Manish Pandey. They haven't got consistently big innings out of Shakib Al Hasan. Yes. And that's where they're going to be trouble. So if they're 72 for 3, will they push on to 180, 190? That's a big question they'll be asking themselves. And there's a bit of a tail out there. If you ask yourself, Sandeep Sharma, Thampi, and I think there's who else am I?
They've got Siddharth Kaul.
Siddharth Kaul. All three of them you can't say.
Rashid Khan can tonk the ball a little bit.
Yeah, but he's had one innings.
Correct. So if they don't lose wickets, then a Pathan can go for it. Then Huda can go for it. But if they lose wickets early, if they lose 2 or 3 early, and that stat is so true every time.
There's no Huda. So
Huda's not playing today.
That's how we've got Sandeep Sharma back in.
Correct. Huda's not playing today. Good call. So and that's a big call, because they preferred Yusuf Pathan over Deepak Hooda. And to think that earlier this year, Deepak Hooda was made captain of Baroda and Yusuf Pathan was left out for non-performance.
He's not in that side.
There's an irony.
He was playing by club cricket in Bangladesh.
Yeah. Yes, there's a definite irony. But coming to the death overs, we talked about it. I mean, it's all very well talking about these close finishes. But if you have a look at the Mumbai Indians death overs, and you talk about the likes of Mustafizur, Jasprit Bumrah, the other day he bowled one genius over and then the next over. And have a look at that. Runs to defend, 7, 11, 11, 10. And those were the results. And these were the respective bowlers. Mustafizur on 2 occasions. It's
a tough one. The reason Mustafizur was there on 2 occasions and Ben Cutting on 1 is that they believe in when you're defending
19th over.
Even 18. I was at the ground yesterday. They bowled out the best bowler, number 18. Then they went Sran number 19 and left Mujib for number 20. So they want their lead bowler. So I think that trouble is coming in overs 18 and 19. If you remember that one game, I think was the Bravo game, CSK. McLennan went for 20, then Bumrah went for 20. So I think that is where there's a school of thought that's emerging that's saying, you know what, we talk a lot about Bumrah as a death bowler. Actually, Bumrah's numbers are only par as a death bowler. And we're not saying par with respect to other bowlers, which could be unfair because he bowls the difficult overs, but par with respect to the normal scores in difficult overs.
And other death bowlers.
Yeah. But just talking about, you know, the death bowlers and the death overs, you know, we were here yesterday, we spoke for almost an hour. What was your take on...
For an hour?
Well, not on the show, off the show, and then quite a longer than normal show at the end. What was your take? You were at the ground.
Yes.
Were you in full agreement? Forget what happened in hindsight. At the time, were you in agreement with the way...
bowling the last over?
Yes.
Yeah, and when Strand bowled, when he bowled on Strand in 15.
Ashwin was asked afterwards, why, what was the discussion about? He said, no, I had made up my mind that Mujib was going to bowl the last over. The whole discussion was, where should Strand bowl? And he said, no, I backed him to bowl the 19th, but he'd been going for runs. The only discussion was, where should he bowl? Because I think they wanted to make it as tough as possible. I thought Ty will bowl 19, but they bowled out Ty 18, and they bowled out somebody else over 17 too. So,
I mean...
more that difficult over, they're finishing it early.
But the thing about it is, with the leggy, you guess right or you guess wrong. But if you guess right, and I remember first ever super over, okay? Rajasthan Royals versus KKR. And we get Mendes to bowl, Ajanta Mendes to bowl.
And Yusuf finished it, right? In 4 balls. 16.
They had 16 to chase, 4 balls. He just whacked 3 sixes. Yeah. Because he just guessed right. The problem with the spinner in that situation is if the batsman guesses right, you're gone.
It was also a big call because Mujib had bowled in one of the later overs when Dhoni was on the rampage for CSK versus Kings, and he conceded 18 or 19 then. Because, I mean, whatever his age, it's tough to... I mean, I'm not casting aspersions, but it's tough for someone so inexperienced to bowl those overs. So it was a big call by Ashwin to go to him for over number 20.
Well, Ashwin has got every call right this year. Yeah. He seems to be just playing them
into the matter of small margin. That shot from Shreyas Iyer could easily have gone a few more meters, and the discussion would have been turned on its head. Did he get it wrong?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did he get Sran wrong in the 13th over, in that 18th over?
So who's this SRH death bowler today? There's no Bhuvi. Bhuvi is genuinely good. I mean, I was looking at some other stats about how people who bowl dot balls and create pressure. The 3 top bowlers in that are all Sunrisers bowlers. Who are the 3? Billy Stanlake, Rashid Khan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. No Billy Stanlake, no Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Is Basil Thampi going to be their death bowler? Is Nabi going to be their death bowler because he does that
the man with the headband?
Because he does that, the man...
Change of role for Siddharth Kaul?
Yeah, could be. Well, Siddharth Kaul will have to be the death bowler. Sandeep Sharma tails off dramatically.
No, Sandeep Sharma, you cannot bowl him.
So there is a new trend coming. They're bowling someone 4 overs at the top. I won't be surprised if Sandeep Sharma bowls 3 at the top.
At least 3 at the top, because he swings it. If they're going to give Sandeep, because they will have to. I think Siddharth Kaul definitely. Thampi is going to be one of them, because Thampi's Yorker is his biggest strength. I mean, they'll just have to hope that he gets spears them in the right
But
time.
for now, it's Mumbai who are bowling first. So let's talk about Mumbai. We often talk about death bowling at being the end of a match. What about death bowling when you're bowling first? Because you know the side batting first, in this case the Sunrisers, will be going berserk. They'll be playing without pressure. You're not chasing runs. So that's a different kind of death bowling in a sense. You want to contain a rampaging side, and if they've got wickets in hand, as we said, a dangerous set of people could be in there.
I think the first 6 will be more important than the last 5. Because if they get wickets in the first 6, that just sets up the game there. It's not the deepest batting lineup for Sunrisers. So if they can get a couple of wickets, if they get Shikhar out early, then I think it will make the job of the death bowlers easier. So I think they should go all out wickets. Doesn't matter if you get Bumrah bowling 2 up front. But I think if they get wickets in the first 7-8 overs, then it will change the match.
Let's have a look at quickly Mumbai's numbers in the death overs. And here you go. Economy rate 8.54, second best in the tournament, 16 to 20, and the dot ball percentage best among all teams.
So somewhere, you know, all the stats are showing that Mumbai are bowling okay. And all the stats are showing that they're losing.
They're missing the wrong points. They're winning the wrong points.
So there is a stat. There has to be a stat somewhere where Mumbai Indians are among the lowest. Are they conceding too many sixes? Are they bowling too many no balls? Are they conceding too many free hits? On some stat, they have to be low. And I won't be surprised if it's the percentage of boundaries that they're conceding.
Since you mentioned Michael Stake, I think tennis is always a good example to take of winning the big points. Yeah. It's like a guy who hits X number of aces.
The big points. You're exactly that.
I mean, it's no point hitting aces at 40 love up. And it's when you're 40 love down, if you can come up 3 aces, that's when...
Exactly. So you could win a lot of 40 love games, you know, games at love, and lose games on tiebreakers, and you could still lose the tournament by winning a lot more points.
You know, even if they're conceding boundary, the economy rate in the death is still all right. It's still 8 point something.
See, but remember, one match could prop it up, you know, because they've been close so often. If one match props it up, it won't be so bad at all.
I'm just trying to look at those numbers, because maybe since we count the death overs 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it could well be they're bowling 16 and 17 well and going for too many 18, 19, 20.
Very possible.
There's another look at it.
So economy rate of 8.54 in over 16 to 20 is excellent, because what that is telling you is what 8.5 into 5, that's about what 43, 44 is all they're conceding in the last 5, which is outstanding.
Fantastic.
But the Jasprit Bumrah example, the other day, that 17th over that he bowled, he gave 1 run, picked up a couple of wickets. It looked as if game over, he had won the game. Still bowls the 19th over and gives 20 runs to numbers 7 and 8.
And bowls a no ball.
7 and 9.
Bowls a no ball, which no balls are going to haunt him.
I think Bumrah should be told that every no ball is 5% of your contract amount. And
I think the other one for whom this is good, this is a make or break game, is Manish Pandey. Yeah. If Manish Pandey comes to the party, this is the day he needs to come to the party.
He's got a lovely habit of batting through to the end and finishing games, but yeah, he's not quite done that so far.
He's been missing this season.
Yeah, he's been missing.
Not quite Joy's favourite Cinderella. You know Cinderella?
No, my favourite Cinderella is, he never disappoints me. Mayank Agarwal, another brilliant.
You almost thought that was going to be a Joy factor question, no?
Mayank Agarwal, every time, pretty 20, marvellous 25, fascinating 23, brilliant 16.
You know who's doing that this year a lot is Robin Uthappa. He's batting beautifully. I look at Robin Uthappa, that lovely.
The only difference is it's Cinderella +1, which means he's getting 30s and 40s.
30s and 40s at least he's getting.
Yeah. So today, I think they'll have to make 185, 190 or SRH.
Yeah, they certainly will. And you see any changes in their batting order? You see Ridhiman as a floater, maybe Manish Pandey coming higher up the order.
I think 100% is a floater. This kind of pitch, they might give Ridhiman a hit in early. They might really just put him in and say go whack early if somebody
send
goes
him out to open again.
Yeah.
And do a Sunil Narayan.
Yeah. They could send him out to whack, because in Mumbai this pitch, if 185, 190 is a norm, there's no point having guys to build it.
Also, he's the ideal guy to go up, because down at 7 you're not expecting a lot from him. So if he gets out early, you've not lost a lot. Which is the whole principle behind sending Sunil Narayan up. You're sending a suicide squad up. If he goes, you know, yeah.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Kamikaze.
I wouldn't want to.
Except that there are real people involved.
I wouldn't want to.
So in war, in the Greeks, when they fought in the, not the Greeks, the Romans, when they fought, they had these lightly armed guys called skirmishers. So they would go out, run out in front of the sort of heavily armed infantry and throw their javelins and come back, you know. And a lot of them would die because they were very lightly armed, they weren't wearing one. So these guys, like,
So they were using up the javelins of the other guys?
No, throwing the javelins, trying to kill and then running back in. But a lot of them used to get killed because, they were very lightly armed and they would go out. So they were the skirmishers. So Ridhiman Saha is like a skirmisher. He'll go out, he'll attack, he wins. He doesn't, the rest of the army is behind him.
One Bengali speaking about another with so much passion. But just a controversial one. The guy I'd like to see be a Sunil Narayan one day is Rashid Khan. He proved it for those few deliveries. He has the capability. We chatted about it briefly.
There is a story here. Is he in your fantasy league?
He is, but that's not the reason. That is not the reason.
But he's in your fantasy league.
This is the standard politician's answer.
He's on everyone's team. But no, honestly, this was only because...
That's the other word. I'm waiting to hear obviously because you've worked a lot with cricketers.
That I avoid. Speaking with the Bangladeshis, no. Yeah, obviously...
no offense meant, but. No.
But yeah, I was what's happening here? Rashid Khan the other day, before he walked out to bat, I did mention, and Joy was witness to that look out for this guy.
Yeah.
He was an opening batsman and he gets offended every time he makes a quick 30 or 40. And you say, well, Rashid, that was a bonus from the bat. He said, no, I actually know how to bat. I just don't get enough chances. Anyway, we're running out of time. We still haven't got the joy factor, and I suspect after the simple one you laid up, the half volley yesterday, come on, it's got to be a...
Joy, stop being a... You've got a good auction price, come on.
Yeah,
deliver a good one.
This one's a good one. You like it. You like it and I know you'll get this. If for Garfield Sobers, it was Chris Old in 1973, which former IPL player was it for Sachin Tendulkar in 2006? Guess.
Okay. If for Garfield Sobers it was Chris Old, I can draw the link there.
Yeah, you know the link, then you just...
I think I've got the link there. So, I think I got the link. I just have to figure out what it was.
You have to tell us off air because we want all of you. Yes. Hashtag Cricbuzz Live. Tell us the answers. It's the joy factor question.
Time starts now.
And yeah, your time starts now because at the rate we've been seeing the answers coming in, almost before the first ball is bowled, we already have about 20 answers in. But we're going to come back and talk much more, a little bit more about Sachin, of course, and will his party continue into the night here in Mumbai? We shall find out. For now, it's a big thank you to Joy, to Harsha, and it's been a show where we've spoken in, I think, about 5 languages. We'll keep the language of cricket going when we come back in the mid-inning show. For now, Mumbai versus Sunrisers. That's all on Cricbuzz Live.